Hello there, and welcome to the new spin-off of the Emperor's New podcast, New Groove News, where we talk about the latest news coming from the Grooviverse. I am Micah Hirsch, and today I am joined by Jacob Martin
Hello.
and Daniel Peckham.
Hey folks, how's it going?
And today we are here to discuss the rumors and on Villain's Land. I will say that the article I sent to you, Daniel, is not the original, but the original when I try to look at it is behind a paywall, so I wanted to send you one that wasn't behind a paywall. Um, these are
Those
reports
darn paywalls.
that came from an article on the Wrap written by Drew Taylor. I don't know how reliable a source he is. I know he knows people, and I know that he writes about Disney a lot, but I don't know. You know, at the moment, it's just rumors because Disney hasn't announced anything yet.
I think as far as like internet blogs go, I believe the Wrap is fairly reliable. I can't really attest to that, but I believe like in the hierarchy of things, uh, they're way above comic book resources. I'll give you that much.
Well, I know it's definitely more reliable than like Inside the Magic or WDW News or anything.
Well,
Who have also reported on the same story, but not until after the Wrap covered it. So yeah, so there are rumors about the different that Villain's Land has been retooled and different, and it was always going to have Yzma in some capacity because they talked about it at one of the events. Um, but according to this, the main rides, the main two rides are the Maleficent boat ride and Yzma and Kronk roller coaster, and there might also be an Ursula spinner ride and a Hades restaurant show.
Well, as long as they don't do my girl Cruella dirty, I'll be happy.
I
fair.
I would like to think that. Well, first of all, I would like to think the Maleficent ride. It would be cool if the Maleficent ride were something like Monsters and Chain, where it had multiple villains, and Maleficent was just like the leader.
That's
Second,
what I was thinking too,
Ooh.
actually.
even
That'd be a really cool way to do that.
even any villains that don't make it in that ride, the Dark Universe at Universal has tons of references to other monsters even outside the ride, so they could have references to villains that aren't on the rides sprinkled throughout the land. Um, but yeah, but
Maybe
obviously the
there's,
main. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was about to say, maybe there's a way that this is Disney's subtle hinting at a remake of the House of Villains from
Yeah.
the House of Mouse series.
That would be
Maybe
cool.
a sequel. It's not on Disney Plus because none of the House of Mouse stuff is on Disney Plus. Maybe they should bring it. Maybe they should add it to Disney Plus. You know.
That would definitely be good. Yes.
But of course the main reason that this is being talked about on this podcast is the Yzma and Kronk rumored roller coaster ride and discussion and speculation and stuff about what that might be like if it is true.
Now, I will say
My
this. I'm not picky about like what it needs to have, but it either needs to have a launch with a lever that gets pulled and then,
Yeah.
wrong lever.
Yeah.
And then if the ride takes your picture, they have to have audio of Kronk saying, "No, put your hands in the air." That
Yeah.
needs to be there,
I
regardless.
don't know that the people at Disney might be like, oh, but that's against the rules, so we can't be encouraging people to, but I don't know.
uh, look, I know I said putting your hands up is a hell of a lot more fun, but it's a lot more safer if you just hang on to the bar along the way.
Oh yeah. We were both Kronk in Road to Cuscotopia, and Daniel was also Pacha. Jacob did the score for
Yeah.
Road to Cuscotopia. Um,
Awesome.
so yeah, so my idea, and I wish that I was developing this for them, but I'm not. Uh, is so I had a really complicated idea back in the day, but it's so complicated they would never go for it, and it's not specifically villain themed, even though it is it is a roller coaster with Yzma's car. It also heavily involved the other characters. My update for a exclusively villain themed version is Kronk pulls a lever and you get launched backwards out of the building into the jungle and run into jaguars, and then Kronk and Yzma have to find you and get you back to the palace for Yzma to pull the right lever and send you through the roller coaster.
I
And
could
Kind of
see
also,
a
that
kind
being
of
like a swing launch.
yeah, and also
a
like there would be pre-show and stuff because it's the Emperor's New Groove. It needs to be funny, and it's hard. It can be difficult, not impossible. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy did it to make a roller coaster funny. Um, so I would like there to be some sort of pre-show, or something. One idea I came up with was there would be the obvious pre-show with Yzma and Kronk explaining what's going on, but then afterwards, on the way to the loading area, you'd see the Shoulder Angel and Devil giving you safety instructions. Uh,
Yes, yes.
um, what do you mean a roller
the
coaster type ride? Why can't you just call it a roller coaster?
I could easily see it doing that, and then you have one of them like maybe like the devil is the one doing everything you're not supposed to do. So
Yeah,
like they say no flash photography, and then the devil takes a flash photo, and then the
yeah,
angel like shoots it with something, like shoots it with an arrow or something.
yeah.
I thought I told you no flash photography. I don't know what you're talking about. This is just my cell phone. I'm not taking photos of anything.
Um, so yeah. Um, we could also dive into some of the other things if you want as well, but that was
Well,
just the
let's
main.
stay on New Groove until we've exhausted the topic, because that is what
Okay.
we're here for.
Yeah. Um, I do. You know, I do know people who like work it like on the inside, but I'm not going to ask them because it hasn't been announced officially, so I don't want to mess with NDAs or anything.
Yeah,
Um,
Right?
you do too, Jacob. So
trying to think of which people I know. You'll have to tell me off air.
yeah, I could do that. Um,
Dang, I'm the odd man out. I don't know anybody at the House of Mouse.
yeah,
I just talk with people if they show up at the local comic conventions.
yeah.
Fair.
They, I had
Actually,
an
Comic
idea.
Con is
Although,
happening the weekend I'm recording this.
I had an idea for an Emperor's New Groove Con. I think it's too niche, but I really only wanted to do it because I wanted to call it CoosCon.
Fair. You know what though? If any character in fiction was going to have a convention named after themselves, it's definitely Cuzco.
That's
absolutely.
a good thing I wanted to bring up. Do you think if this ride really is happening, there will be other Emperor's New Groove characters besides Yzma and Kronk involved? I gotta imagine Bucky at least will be there at some point, but
Bucky's a squirrel, right?
yes.
Yes. I was gonna say Bucky can be the end of ride debriefing. So like for example, when you hit the brakes in Cosmic Rewind and you turn the corner and they have that like hologram of all the Guardians and they welcome
Yeah.
you to the Guardians of the Galaxy, that
That is
except it's
meaningless.
Kronk
Sorry.
and Bucky. That would be great.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, cause like, cause they just got a new Cusco because James Arnold Taylor is Cusco now. So I'm wondering if Cusco might be involved in some capacity. Um,
Yeah, I'd imagine David Spade probably had like turned down Disney like so many times.
I don't
He
know if
always kind of strikes me as a guy that has like a little too much of an ego.
yeah.
Like
I
the role
I
of
always
Cusco hit a little too close to home for him.
I think it I don't know if they ever bothered asking him, but I also know that it was, as you know, if you know about the history of the movie, it was a very stressful production for him because they had to keep calling him back to record lines for a completely different movie. Um,
Oh yeah,
so that may also have a factor in why he might not want to return, even though he is grateful for the movie because as he says in podcasts and stuff, it's the only movie he's ever been in that's gotten good reviews. Um, and Patrick Warburton likes to make fun of him. Well, I saw that happen. Well, oh, there's something that you have that I don't think Jacob has, that you and I have in common that I don't think Jacob has, Dan. We've both seen Patrick Warburton in person
Oh yeah, no,
Yes.
I've
on
never seen
stage.
him in person.
I mean, I got to fist bump him, but that was
I,
like 2022. I saw him more recently than that at the screening. And he
I
made
didn't.
fun
I
of.
didn't even get to. I didn't even get to go that far.
Yeah.
He came to Pittsburgh and he did a couple of shows down at the Improv, and I follow the Improv. I follow their events calendar, and every
But
so
he
often
knows
I'll
your
check into
name,
it.
or he knows your name though.
He does. He does now, which is astonishing. I had drawn a sketch cover for him with a whole bunch of different characters he has played, like uh,
The Tick.
Clonk, Buzz Lightyear, Superman, The Tick, and of course everyone's favorite psychopathic badass, Brock Samson. Um, and I wanted to give it to him at the Improv after the show, uh, but the security guard was like, no, can't let anybody in, can't let anybody talk to him. That's it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And I'm like, no, I get that. I understand. I just can you give this to him? Yeah, but no, you can't see him. You can't talk to him, dude. Not what I'm asking. I have this. It is for him. I do not want an autograph. I don't want anything else. Just give it to him. Oh, uh, oh, okay. Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. And I was left kind of in a state of, oh God, I bet that guy didn't even do it. It probably like ended up in a fucking dumpster someplace. Pardon my language. I am so sorry. I
I don't care.
okay, cool, cool. Fuck that shit then. Uh, I was worried it would end up in a dumpster and he wouldn't even get it. But I had logged on to Twitter like the next day or so, and I found a tweet directly from him, from Patrick Warburton, thanking me for the art. He said he wished we could have had a chance to talk, but regardless, this is awesome. He has it. It's on his thing, and my I was just like happy little geek.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw him because I saw him at GalaxyCon back in 2022. I didn't get a chance to talk with him because uh, I felt bad, so I had to leave early, so I didn't ever visit him at his table. But after the Q&A, I got to fist bump him, and then I saw him last year when I also actually got to meet and take a picture with Mark Dindal. I saw him last year at the
Cool.
screening, the 25th anniversary screening, and he was like, "Oh, there's a grown-ups reunion over there, and that's why Davey's not here. Davey, we love Davey, but he's a little bit of a princess." Um,
Oh God,
yeah. So
he's
obviously this
he's an
is
awesome
also
guy.
also just, an excuse to get more Patrick Warburton into Disney World.
Yeah, I was
If
gonna
this is
say if they're gonna make an Emperor's New Groove like any sort of attraction, whether it be Yzma and Kronk related or be Cusco related, we just need to get actual Patrick Warburton because he will
well,
do stuff
Yes.
for the parks.
yeah.
Obviously, he's famously the Soren flight
Well, he's done
attendant.
Kronk for the parks before for a couple of things. Um, and I also have seen some people saying, well, they'd have to recast Eastman. It's like they already did that in 2011. It's all
Yeah,
set in stone. They have an actress for
Yeah.
you. She's in the new Speedstorm along with Cusco, or the new Speedstorm boat update along with Cusco. She's a Muppet. I mean, she's Leslie Correa Rudolph, who also is a puppeteer for like Abby Cadabby and some other characters. Which is
Nice.
like, it makes sense that a Muppet would play Yzma.
like yeah, no, Yzma. I mean, honestly, the Emperor's New Groove is very Muppety in its sense of humor,
Yeah,
but it's also just very like it's Looney Tunes, but
yeah,
not.
Yeah.
yeah. And that's why, like, the two probably funniest theme park rides I can think of are the Simpsons ride at Universal and Cosmic Rewind at Disney World. If you want to go an honorary mention because fun, the puns are fun and stuff, Jungle Cruise. But like, if you want to talk like really unique, like well written, it's not, it's not, especially in the case of Cosmic Rewind, where some of those jokes are on a rotation, so it's different jokes depending on when you're writing it. Um, versus Jungle Cruise, where they have 100-page long script of the same jokes that they rotate through. Um,
Wait, what about Mission Breakout though?
oh yeah, that's a good one too. I just can't haven't been on that one as often because I'm
Ah,
not near
yeah. See,
California.
being on the West Coast, that's the one I ride most often. And unfortunately, I've gotten all but one soundtrack to it.
Yeah.
I've gotten literally everything else except one.
The,
But yeah, that's
the
a pretty
Sims
funny
What's
one.
the Simpsons ride is a
what's
funny ride, but man, it's so old that it's starting to get really painful to ride
Yeah.
on both coasts because I've been on it on both coasts now. Uh,
it'd be nice if they either retooled the Simpsons ride or I don't know, maybe brought
I
Back to the Future or something. I don't know.
I
Oh
think
no,
Just
there's
I
other
think
plans
saying.
for Back to the Future,
yeah, I
to my
think if they're gonna do
knowledge.
Back to the Future, it's gonna be something new in a different location, which makes sense to me because it's well past 2015, and you go to 2015 in the ride, and I know suspension of disbelief is a thing, but it's a little too much for my brain in 2026 onward to be traveling to 2015 and it being called the future.
Also,
This is the
well,
future we were supposed to have,
If
not the one that
make
we
it
currently have.
make it about an alternate timeline or something, and then maybe it could work out.
we'll see now. There is a bit of a rumor going around. I know we're a Disney podcast, but there's a rumor going around with like the Universal sphere that now that Fast and Furious is getting a roller coaster that's a lot more worthy of the Fast and Furious name than Supercharged is, that supposedly Back to the Future might be taking its place.
Yeah,
So some sort of a Back to the Future
which
attraction
and you know
in
what
the
that
San
means.
Francisco area.
I'm gonna tie in another one of my favorite movies into this, so I will be relevant again. If they brought back Kong and they brought Back to the Future, that means the next they have to do a new Jaws ride.
Yes, yes, they would have
Yeah,
to do this.
uh,
absolutely. And hopefully bring back Ghostbusters Spooktacular as well.
That I
there's
think is going to happen sooner, honestly,
There's,
because
I definitely think they're gonna do something. I mean, they already have like the characters there every now and then. I think,
Yeah,
and they have events and stuff for them. So I imagine at some point they might bring back or do a new Ghostbusters attraction of some kind. On the
my
like
subject,
guess
I'm
is
yeah.
yeah,
my guess
I
with
keep hearing
Ghostbusters.
rumblings, but
yeah. On the
Uh,
subject of New Groove,
yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and talk about some of the other just to keep the conversation going. Other things New Groove related that have been in the parks over the years, which I have talked about on the podcast proper before. But the one of the earliest that I know of was in the old Magic of Animation, which is also getting rebooted. Speaking of things getting revisited and stuff, they had a bunch of interactive stations where you could play games and stuff, and one of them was a coloring station, an ink and paint station, but it really was just coloring, digital coloring book basically, and it was hosted by Kronk, because of course it was, uh, and the technically,
look, Isma, I colored inside the lines this time. I didn't scribble. I didn't scribble at all. It's all there. It's all inside the
I'm gonna have to
lines.
send this whole thing to Charlie afterwards. So also technically, if this ride becomes a thing, it'll be the first roller coaster explicitly officially themed to the Emperor's New Groove, but not the first roller coaster inspired by the Emperor's New Groove, because that is Raging Spirits at Tokyo
yep,
Disney Sea, which has architecture
Oh,
that is based on Cusco's palace, years later, which is kind of upsetting to
yeah, because
think
it's
about.
set in
But
that same area. It's
Yeah,
set
it's
in that
set with
location.
it's set yeah it's set in the American the Central South American themed area in that park with Indiana Jones. Um, and
Okay. Nice.
Indiana
Yeah,
Jones
that definitely makes
and
sense.
that ride's called Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Crystal Skull. It came out like 8 years before the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull
Seven
came out.
years.
7 years
Seven
before Kingdom of
years.
the Crystal Skull came out. It has no connection to that movie whatsoever. It's just they chose the same artifact both for that ride and then Paramount or Steven Spielberg chose the same artifact for that movie. I think the
George
designs are
Lucas
completely
chose
different.
it.
Yeah, the designs are completely different and everything. Because the real Crystal Skulls
It's
don't have the
actually
alien heads.
it's
Even though there
actually
are
kind of
cultures.
funny.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead.
It's actually kind of funny. I have a lot of like the Indiana Jones tie-in novels from the early '90s.
Yeah.
You would not believe how many of them have like sort of an ongoing McBain type side plot that involve the frickin' crystal skulls. Like it's a MacGuffin he's chasing, and then Indy gets sidelined into the main adventure, and then the next book he's going after it again, and oh, it was stolen from a museum by a thief, and he gets
Doesn't
sidelined
one of
by
those
Scott.
books have dinosaurs in it?
Yep. Uh, it's Indiana Jones and the Dinosaur's Egg, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
I know there was one that was also like the Sorcerer's Stone or something, and I'm like,
The
is this
Philosopher's
the
Stone?
yep.
is this the one where he finally learns parcel tongue to tell the snakes to go away? Is that what happens?
Because the Philosopher's Stone is the actual artifact that Harry Potter book is named after. I don't know why they
Yes.
changed it for the American release.
I don't
And
know either.
also apologies to some of our listeners
Brain
for
Bang.
bringing up Harry Potter. Um,
What are these? Just birdie bats? Means I'm not gonna eat this shit. Get out of here, stupid Weasley kid. What the? Get out of here. Leave me
um,
alone.
so there was Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom, which is which sadly was killed by COVID. Um,
Yeah.
which was a
Hmm.
card. It's hard to explain it. You went around the park with cards, and there were screens, and you held the cards up to the screens to fight villains. And that was the first time, to my knowledge, that Leslie Carrera Rudolph voiced Yzma. Um, because she and Kronk were one of the three villains that you fought with Kronk, villain by association, in Adventureland, along with Scar and Jafar. Um,
Hey, I gotta make an honest buck somehow, or maybe it's a dishonest buck. I don't know what you call it.
um, and there was a one night only event with Cusco and Yzma showed up that was hosted by Max Goof at Disneyland Paris. Um, the characters for the
Nice.
Emperor's New Groove regularly appear every once in a while at Disneyland Paris, and have only started appearing for very special events recently in the U.S. Um, I can think a few years ago Yzma was at Disneyland or something, but most recently, in the case of New Groove characters, and they are mascot or whatever you call the characters that aren't face characters, and I think it's dumb because I think if you're going to meet Cusco or Kronk, you should be able to talk to them, uh, because
I've seen like I've seen both like the suit of I've seen both suit Cusco and like face Cusco online.
I know
I
I've never seen a face one associated with the parks, but I've seen lots of cosplayers. Um, I do know there was a face Yzma and Kronk for some of the stuff on the cruise ship. Like Villains Tonight had a face Yzma because she sings the whole song, and they have a quiz show now that's like the the Celebrity Squares or whatever, but with Disney villains, and Yzma and Kronk are in that. At one point, they even both of these things actually technically acknowledge the show because she sang Yzmopolis on the cruise, which is a song from the show, and one of the questions on the Squares game was related to the TV show. They've acknowledged the TV show sort of a couple times, but Then there was the Villains Tonight show I mentioned on the cruise, and I think there was a detective agency thing where Yzma didn't have any lines, but she was a suspect. Um, then there was the new show that they just opened. Yzma's not a major character in it, but she is in it, and you do hear her say a few things. Unfairly Ever After, she's one of the villains in the Biddy Mirrors, and she does have a few lines, which I think some of which were recorded by Leslie Correa Rudolph. Um, that's all I can think of for what they've had in the parks, which is more than most people would probably realize, um, especially recently. Uh, and that's the reason why I think the movie it actually is popular enough to get a ride. Is they have they they have so it has so many freaking Lorcana cards that people are buying that make a huge amount of money. Um, I know that's probably a niche thing, but if you combine that with other factors like the anniversary last year and stuff. Oh, that was the thing I mentioned where they brought the characters over to Disney World was Cuscotopia at Typhoon Lagoon for one night, um, which I wanted to go to but was sold out before I could get any tickets, which is why I ended up making sure I got tickets to the El Capitan screening because I wanted to do something for the 25th anniversary officially.
Nice top story. The popcorn you're eating has been piston. Film at 11.
What was? Where were we?
I remember
That was.
it
I
had
was going to say
something to
someone
do.
should write that down. What we were talking about last.
It
Yep.
had something to do with Emperor's New Groove. I know that much.
Well, I think we were talking. That's right. It was all the different places that the franchise has appeared in the parks.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
I've about
And you were
summed
talking
it up.
about the Cuscotopia event, and you wanted to do something for the 25th anniversary.
Yeah. So I went to see because that was sold out as soon as tickets became available for D23 Gold members. I ordered tickets for the El Capitan screening. Um, and then I flew to Hollywood. That was my first time ever traveling by myself. Um, so that was fun.
How'd you like it? How was traveling solo? Was it a fun
Um,
experience?
It was fun. I will say on the subject of theme parks, I went to Universal, and that's where I found out that the Simpsons ride in Hollywood also is painful. Um, I will say Universal Hollywood, I wanted to do with friends, but no friends were available, so I did it by myself. It's not as fun when
Oh,
it's just you. Um,
Yeah,
Also, it's
well,
not as good as Florida
I
Universal.
will say though there is one upside to doing Universal Hollywood on your own. You can just marathon Revenge of the Mummy over and over and over and over
Yeah,
again
but
in
I
a
had other
single
things
rider
I
line,
wanted to
and no
do.
one's gonna get mad at you.
I had other things I wanted to do, so I only rode Bumpy twice. Um, and Florida's Mummy is
don't
better. I
Oh, of
just
course it
just
is.
go and constantly hang out with Megatron and just bug the ever loving shit out of him. No, puny human, leave me
I
alone.
walked by him. I didn't go see him because I had other things on my mind. I was moving around a lot. I got to try a Krusty Burger and a donut, which I
That
split
chicken
over
and
two.
waffle sandwich is worth the price of admission alone.
I
Don't at
split
me.
I split the donut between the night and breakfast the morning after because it's like this big. Um, and this is going to be on YouTube, so some people will be able to see that. So that did have a point. But anyways,
So
here's
finally, they
my
do.
hmm?
So finally, Homer does have his colossal donut.
Yeah,
Nice.
my pitch is so obviously they're getting the Emperor's New Groove ride in Villains Land. But there's stuff, and even though the villains are the obvious highlight of the movie, there's stuff I'd love to see in the parks that aren't directly tied to the villains. So I think if they ever bring the ride to California, they should do a Emperor's New Groove mini land, and
I
it could
agree.
have Mudka's Meat Hut as a restaurant, and a little hut where you could meet Pacha and some of the other characters. And then the main ride would be, yeah, the Yzma and Kronk roller coaster.
I think that at some point they should do at least some instance of water slides.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they didn't build anything new, but that was what the where the Cuscotopia event was at the water park. Um,
Oh, okay.
so they did debatably do something with water slides, just not built for that movie. Just uh, and they didn't retheme any of the slides. I don't think they just had character meet and greets in the water park and some signs and some bird signs that were supposed to be bird bingo, but they should have built fake birds instead of having flat bird signs that people found. They also invented brand new characters for the Cuscotopia event at Typhoon Lagoon, which I thought was interesting. And the new characters are people; they aren't big costume because they'd have to design all new characters for that. So they were actual walk around people that you could talk to and stuff. Um,
I, I
yeah.
I feel like I'm kind of the wrong person for this podcast because I'm out of the loop. I've never been to either of the parks or any of the
Huh?
parks, and so it's like I I spent the majority of my childhood in North Dakota, and then the rest of my time has been over here in Pittsburgh, and
Yeah.
that's about as far from anything as you can get. We've got
Your Kennywood.
there's yeah, there's Kennywood, and I have friends who for like nearly 20 years did the Kennywood Fright Nights, although it's no longer the Phantom Fright Nights. It's the Fall Fun Fest because the park was bought by some other people that they're a little more
Family,
you know,
kid friendly. Dude,
not some just churchy Joes.
I'm gonna look up
We
who
say.
owns. I'm gonna look up who owns Kennywood because I'm curious now.
Yeah,
Also,
the
I
uh
believe in that
the
area, you're not too far from if you're in Pittsburgh, you're not too far from Hershey Park
I've
either.
been there. Okay, so speaking of
yes,
Hirsch
yeah,
and Family Entertainment, who also owns Dollywood and Silver Dollar City,
And
appears to
now
be the owner
Silverwood in my neck
of
of the woods.
Kennywood. Um, so there's two parks that are owned by a company with Hirsch spelled Her in the name,
yeah.
in Pennsylvania. So that's interesting.
I yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't been to Hershey Park either. I have
I
been to
have.
Gettysburg,
Yeah.
uh, and I used to go to the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair a lot, and that was an absolute blast. Unfortunately, nothing related to Disney or
No.
Emperor's New Groove,
There,
sadly.
here's something that I would love for them to have in Villains Land or in the theme park, but you don't have to go to a theme park to get it because there's tutorials online. They really should have, if they're going to have an Emperor's New Groove ride somewhere nearby, they need to have a restaurant that one of the items on the menu is Kronk's spinach puffs.
Yes, absolutely. Or they could go the Avengers Campus route, since all throughout Avengers Campus are like shawarma stands.
Yeah,
Just have stands with Kronk spinach puffs.
yeah. Oh yeah. Um,
Absolutely. I think it'd be really neat if they added a lot of like uh, New Groove related recipes into a bunch of those cookbooks that Disney and Hyperion keep
I
releasing.
I actually have a, I think, unofficial cookbook that's just the Emperor's New Groove recipes. I think some of them are just Peruvian, typical Peruvian dishes that they put in there. But
Yeah.
Peruvian, we have a restaurant here called Alpaca that has Peruvian charcoal chicken that's really good. Um,
Please tell me somewhere they have Cusco's couscous.
I don't know, but I have to look in the book to find out. Um,
If they
what I
don't,
want to
they're
know is
doing something wrong.
I want to know if they have a meat mug in there because they mention the meat mug in the movie, but it's actually like shown in the TV series, and it's literally a mug of meat that you can drink out of a straw. I'm curious how that would work.
See, do you think we could potentially, if they were gonna make. So this wouldn't work as well in Florida and the villain's land because it wouldn't fit the tone.
Yeah.
But if they were to clone the Kronk and Yzma roller coaster to California, say in some mythical third gate that I hope we get at some point soon, um,
Wonder what the whole overall theme would be.
yeah, but I was thinking, what if in that little mini land you had the restaurant that they went to?
That's what I was
Um,
talking about,
yeah,
Mudka's Meat Hut. I was saying that was my idea for the Miniland was Mudka's would be the main restaurant. Maybe they'd have a little restaurant also themed to the lab or something where you can drink potions or something. I don't know, like a little bar themed to the lab or something. Which they could do in Villain's Land as well because it would be appropriate. Um,
They could have little cardboard, uh, bowls that are shaped to look like those giant frickin' grubs that
yeah,
pop open.
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, and now I'm just hungry and it's super late, so there's no way for me to get food. Uh, uh, I'm sorry I say so much.
Oh,
Let's
believe me,
pivot to
that's
that.
nothing.
So let's see. So if so, the question is, what do we think this Yzma and Kronk coaster will be like?
Well, obviously we know what the basic gist of it will be that it's the coaster they ride to the secret lab in the movie, because obviously. Um, so there will be. I would be very surprised if there's not a lever at some point.
Yeah,
And I'm hoping they will sell shirts because I have this shirt that says "Pull the lever, Kronk" on the front, but there's nothing on the back. I'm hoping they'll make shirts that say "Pull the lever" on the front and will say "Wrong lever" on the back, and they sell them at the gift shop.
yes. They also need to sell what is it? This would actually be arguably easier merch to make than like all of those keychains with names on them.
Yeah,
Just have it be the lab coats with the first initial on the front of it.
yeah,
Now you only need to make 26 variants because only
yeah,
26 letters, so
yeah.
anyone that's whose name starts with any of those
And I'm
letters can
sure,
buy a white lab
and
coat.
I'm wondering if they'll have like cast members will be dressed in lab coats or something. Um, in that on that ride.
Attention, we are out of the Bort license plates. I repeat, we are out of the Bort license plates.
They would never do this because it's way too deep a cut. Because it's but there's an episode of the TV show where they literally just rip off that joke. Um, where Kronk is looking for a mug with his name on it, and it's all like crank and crink and crunk and stuff.
That is, yeah.
Um, and they would take obviously they would take your
Crunk, what?
picture.
I don't know. Why is it Crunk? Why is there no Kronk? And then Little John just walks in. It says get crunked. Have it. Just walks off.
um,
Oh God, that's
and
an
then
old
of
ass
course
joke.
in the Emperor's New Groove Miniland, every Christmas at Disneyland at the dinner, they'll serve Cuscoco.
Yes. I mean,
Uh,
honestly, that's the
Teeny tiny
thing.
little
Just
marshmallow llamas.
yeah,
yes, absolutely. No, we just need to make puns need to be throughout any Disney event, especially with this franchise,
yeah,
because of how funny the movie is.
yeah.
Puns are a must at every possible moment.
I'm really hoping again, like the Simpsons ride, that there will be references to the parks in the ride. Especially because it's the Emperor's New Groove. I feel like it would be a sin if they didn't break the fourth wall in the ride. Uh, I know people complain about that ruining the thematic integrity, but if if Muppet Vision can do it because it makes sense, Emperor's New Groove can do it because it makes sense.
Yeah, same with like, nah, if Guardians of the Galaxy can do it because it makes sense.
Yeah.
Have a photo of Cusco wearing the Mickey ears and just a big old cease and desist letter on top of it.
Because like one possible idea I came up with was that the ride would be set during the movie, and you'd be working for Yzma during the events of the movie. So the queue would start as you're heading to the main palace, and you would see like ads for Cuscotopia while waiting in line and stuff before getting detoured towards the catacombs area. One criticism I have heard that would be interesting would be the the concept art, and I don't know if they're even gonna go that direction anymore. For Villain's Land was mountains and dark, and the palace is very bright. So there were arguments about how it could fit, and the only one I could see working would be if you entered from the back side of the palace, so you don't see the gold front, you just see the mountains. Um, Other than that, I'm not sure. But I also don't really care because I just want an Emperor's New Groove ride.
Yeah. Also, another brilliant idea that they should absolutely work in. I don't know how you could make it work. Maybe like every third train that dispatches or something,
Yeah.
the soundtrack is entirely reworked to just be Kronk singing it the entire time and not actually the. That would be amazing and worth every single penny of
I
recording time that
have
took.
when I had the idea for a version that was of an Emperor's New Groove ride that wasn't specifically focusing on Yzma and Croc. One idea I had was every time the ride would break down, it would be like in the movie when Cusco stops the film. So Cusco would be interrupting to comment on the ride.
I mean, I could see that working here too.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. I can't believe it. This park makes millions of dollars every single day, and yet they can't afford to fix the ride. This is ridiculous. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm being told that the ride is fixed. Yeah.
Cusco. And have, and obviously in this hypothetical Disneyland version where it's all Emperor's New Groove land, they would have a dance party throughout the day with Cusco.
Hosted
The
by an
other,
animatronic Tom Jones.
yes. I
No,
was gonna say the other
they're gonna
thing the
hire the
ride
real
would need to do.
they have the real Tom Jones chains just backstage in the park, and they're just gonna bring him out every few hours.
I would say, um, I would say if they were gonna make just a blanket Emperor's New Groove ride that wasn't just focused around Yzma and Kronk, it needs to have it needs to have the huge waterfall with sharp
Oh,
rocks
yeah.
at the bottom.
Well, that was the original idea I came up with. Was like it was a ride, and you were riding. The ride vehicles were the Yzma Secret Lab ride vehicles, so that was part of it. But it was like a rescue mission to rescue Cusco, and then at one point it just goes through beat from out scenes from the movie, but it's set after the movie, so Cusco is like annoyed that all this is happening again. And one of the elements was the roller coaster track changes to a flume track, and you go down the waterfall. Um,
Yeah.
and another element was that it would end with a drop tower section where the roller coaster goes into a drop tower, and there's a giant trampoline that makes you bounce back up.
I
But
would love that.
I don't think Disney would spend the amount of money it would take to make something that complicated based on the Emperor's New Groove. But
Yeah, that's the thing. Because, I mean, all that tech exists. The roller
yeah,
coaster to Flume, SeaWorld's done that. The drop track, Disney did that on Rise of the Resistance.
yeah. Well, there's multiple roller coasters that have that drop tag.
Yeah.
Hagrid's, Verbolten at Busch Gardens. I've seen some people say they think that this ride's going to have it when he pulls the wrong lever. People are speculating maybe when he pulls the wrong lever, your track will drop.
I could see that, too. I could see that, especially
Uh,
if you make it look like it's going to go forward.
Yeah,
So now, the most famous drop track that I know of is 13 over at Alton
at Alton
Towers.
Towers.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah,
And when it drops, afterwards you land and then you go backwards from where you were going.
yeah.
So you could very easily have the drop track go, and then like they pull the wrong lever and the drop track goes like down, and then of course you hear something to the effect of, "Why do we even have that lever? Backwards launch."
And you could, and there would have to be a crocodile animatronic.
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry, Chester is his name in the TV show. I think I think they say it a couple times. Crocodile or alligator, it's interchangeable what species he is in the franchise. So
Now, I do know in the movie, like when they show that quick shot of the
in the
the
chasm,
car zipping down,
yeah,
there's a few instances where it like jumps tracks,
yeah,
and I I do remember in the PlayStation game, that's
yeah,
pretty much all that level was. Uh, I imagine they could do something similar to what Universal is doing
yeah.
now, and
With Donkey Kong,
not quite, yeah, not quite swipe the gimmick, but basically swipe the gimmick of Donkey Kong, where they've got the
it would make sense
jumping.
because they could build a fake track that looks like the track in the movies, which does not look like an actual roller coaster track at all. It, so that would
Yeah,
also be a thing they could do, and they could have gaps in it where the real track underneath, and it would be mostly indoors, so you would actually not see the real track because it would be all black, um,
Yeah,
which would be an advantage over Donkey Kong. Because when I watch the videos of Donkey Kong, I was like, I can see the real track though.
there are times when you forget, having been on Donkey Kong, there are times when you forget because they'll have the fake track going for long enough. So you'll forget that that's the fake track, and then the
Yeah,
one underneath it will do something else, and you're like, oh, yeah, I forgot. That's how this works.
yeah. Um, and I'm wondering if and there's always, I know in the video game, sometimes the cars would spin. Um, so I don't know if they'll do that or not. Also, I imagine the cars aren't going to look exactly one for one like they do in the movie because it's just a two-passenger thing in the movie, and I'm sure they will
Yeah.
want more passengers than that, and more likely be a full train than just the one car. But they could design a train inspired by that design for the ride.
I was about to say I can't imagine a roller coaster that actually spins, but then I had to bite my tongue because I remember over here there's Idlewild Park,
Yeah,
or at least there was 20 some years ago. And there was a ride, I want to say it was called the Mousetrap,
yeah, it was a wild.
where it went
That's what
from
Primeval
it
World was. At Animal Kingdom was also a wild mouse that spun.
Yep.
yeah.
But also Guardians of the Galaxy spins. The new Fast and
Which is,
Furious ride, they're building a Universal spin roller coaster. They're building a Universal spins.
yeah,
Um,
those are controlled, though.
yeah, but I think it would be neat if you could
Yeah.
control it. You could have if you had like if there were any show scenes, you could have the car face the show scene like it
Yeah,
does in
yeah.
Guardians. Um, but I don't know if they'll want to spend the money of that technology on that specific IP or not. Um, because that's the
I'd
thing is
imagine
I don't.
if they would do a ride like that, I could see them doing sort of uh, Rise of the Resistance, but with the Emperor's New Groove characters, and you could have the cars be almost not quite a 1-to-1, but almost a 1-to-1, and you could have like the spinning and the
Yeah, yeah,
bouncing around
this
and everything.
I was once pondering, and this isn't related to Emperor's New Groove. This was just general, the idea of a trackless roller coaster, which it would the roller coaster part is not trackless. The roller coaster part
Yeah.
is on a track, but it would be a trackless dark ride where it locks onto a track at one point and goes into a roller coaster section, which would basically be like what Rise of the Resistance does, but instead of a drop tower, it's a roller
Yeah,
coaster.
yeah. I'd be
Um,
curious to see. I mean, if any company was to pull that off, it'd be Disney.
but I just I think most likely we're gonna get a fairly standard. Maybe it goes backwards or has a drop track family roller coaster because I'm not expecting them to spend a lot of money on this IP. Um, but the thing is, I hope it's funny because you don't have to spend that much money to make something funny which rhymes.
Yes, that means it must be true. If it rhymes, it has to be true.
All this is true because it rhymes.
Yes.
Um, yeah. So the so I'm hoping that these rumors are true. Because I really want Emperor's New Groove Ride, and I'm not nobody. So anybody who says nobody wants, I saw one person who said nobody wants one, and that's just even beyond me. I know that's not true because when Villains Land was first announced, it's all I saw on social media was people asking for an Yzma and Kronk ride. So I don't
Yeah.
think it's as niche as the Disney Parks fandom seems to think it is.
No, I definitely think it's worth a ride. I mean, if I was gonna do a ride, an Emperor's New Groove ride, it wouldn't be in a Villain's Land. I would find some way to expand Adventureland, and
Well,
then make.
there's
Uh,
also the argument I hear is people want it to be an Animal Kingdom because they have the tropical Americas that's opening there. But my argument is Animal Kingdom feels too serious. Like they want to focus on
yeah,
actual cultural representation, and I feel like New Groove is not a good fit for that. Um,
no,
Yeah.
but yeah, so Villains Land makes the most sense to me because sadly there is no way to expand Adventureland in Florida or in
yeah,
California. Um,
because I would build like a ride based off of the chase scene when they were going back to the palace at the
yeah,
end.
yeah.
That seems like the ride that would make that seems like the operative scene to turn into
Well,
a
yeah, and then
ride.
it would end
Other
with
than the
them. It would
lab,
end with that chase scene ends with them going on the roller coaster. So it would end with the roller coaster.
yeah, exactly. That would be like the opportune attraction for this. My other wonder is maybe they do both because the roller coaster to the secret lab wasn't very long.
No,
So I could potentially see them doing something where it's roller coaster to the secret lab and then short dark ride scene where we find out that nothing actually oh no, Cusco has already been here, or some plot relevant show scene, and then
yeah,
we have a separate roller coaster sequence that's now ending the ride.
yeah, yeah. I was thinking like Revenge of the Mummy type
Yeah.
because that seems like that wouldn't be for Disney. I mean, that wouldn't be terribly pricey to do something like Revenge of the Mummy style. Just a couple show scenes and a couple roller coaster sections. Um, yeah, but Disney, if you're hearing me, you should hire me to work on this project. But you're not gonna.
Yes.
But
You should hire Micah Hirsch, and then you should tell Micah Hirsch that he should then give him creative control over the music, and then have him hire the coaster composer for this project. That's exactly what should happen.
yeah, um, I do. I am gonna. If this gets announced officially, I'm gonna push for the people who worked on the movie to at least get invited to the opening or something. Because
Yes,
like,
absolutely. If they're not invited,
Absolutely.
then Disney's messing up.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure that Patrick Warburton would be invited because he's a big name, but I mean, like the story people and stuff should be invited. Um, Patrick Warburton would probably do the opening ceremony, to be honest.
I
He'd
could
cut the
absolutely
ribbon
see
and
him doing that.
he'd cut the ribbon and everything, the purple ribbon or whatever and everything. There'd be a lot of purple in the ride. I know that. Um, and I feel like there would be a lot of blacklight effects for sure, or at least if there aren't, they're messing up because there's the
Yeah.
because you go through all the different masked Archie things in the ride part, and then in the secret lab there's all the potions and stuff, and that's all perfect for blacklight. Um, that's about all I can think of to say for now.
I feel like if they have a section in the like the exit through the gift shop, they would have little like keychain vials that you can pick up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm surprised they don't already make those, honestly, given some of the other stuff they've been making. They have so obviously in the gift shop they'd have to move because I think they sell them at the Emporium now in Magic Kingdom. They'd have or in Main Street. Sorry, it would be Magic Kingdom either way. The shoulder buddies or whatever you call them, the Kronken, because they sell those. They sell little plushies of Kronk's shoulder angel and devil that you can actually Velcro or something and you can put on your shoulders. So I could see them moving that to the gift shop for that. Um,
I
and
imagine they're magnetic. I have like a little mini Stay Puft that
yeah,
I picked up when Frozen Empire came out.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, I know what an Emperor's New Groove gift shop would kind of look like because I've sort of seen one, but not really because there's a gift shop at El Capitan, and there was like a display in the center that was all Emperor's New Groove stuff for the anniversary screening. And they had the shoulder buddies there and the little golden book of the movie, a couple other things.
Just a wall of
Maybe,
chibi Cusco plushes that don't sell whatsoever.
maybe they, if there's a secret lab and they want to sell treats, maybe they'll sell those really good. But I think I sat on mine, so it got, or I didn't sit on it. Something happened to it, and it got crushed when I ate it. But the Rice Krispie treats that have the icing on them that make them look
Yeah,
like the
yeah, yeah.
extract of llama.
Yes.
Um, And they at Disneyland, and maybe they'll bring this to Disney World for the new ride. They have the sipper. They had the collectible sippers that look like the
Yeah, they
vials.
did. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, and I think they have like actual liquid in them, like in a encased. So there's like pink liquid or something in the thing, and then there's a protective wall
Yeah,
inside
it's
for you to put
a
your Coke and stuff.
it's a double walled tumbler that you can like
Yeah,
put in the
I I think it's like
put in
that,
the
and it has
freezer.
like pink liquid or something in it, um, and a giant cork. That's the
Yeah.
lid. Um, but I really wanted those, but they were exclusive for Magic Key holders at Disneyland, and I'm not at Disneyland, so I have no reason to be a Magic Key holder. So
You can probably find one on eBay for
I was
$5,000.
gonna say, I'm sure they're super expensive online. I'm sure somebody scalped them and they're ridiculously pricey.
I was gonna say, as a Tron fan, I'm very well aware of this. Thank you very much, Ares Discs.
Yeah. So, and then would they do seasonal? Would they do anything seasonal for the ride? Is a good question.
I don't think so. Because I feel
And
like the only season the Villains Land would celebrate is Halloween.
yeah, which it would basically be Halloween all year round, anyways.
Yeah.
I do
I
think,
just thought they could do a popcorn bucket in the shape of like the roller coaster car.
yeah. Well, yeah, you know how much that would sell and how long the wait line for that would be based on the other popcorn buckets they made. The freaking Figment popcorn bucket had a longer line than any of the rides, right? Uh, Speaking of
I
popcorn
mean those
buckets, I
those
got this. I don't eat popcorn because it hurts my tummy. You can barely see this because of the background, but this is the El Capitan
very cool.
popcorn bucket that they gave me. Um, that I had to throw out all the popcorn because it would have gone bad if I took it on the plane. They probably wouldn't have let me take it on the plane, honestly. Uh, yeah,
No, they probably could have. It's not
yeah,
liquid. You're good.
but I don't know if it would have been good because it would have been a day after, 2 days after I saw the movie.
Oh, that's when popcorn starts to get the best, though.
um, I hope that they have the is it Corey Burton, I think, who already does stuff in the parks anyways, as the announcer guy for the ride, because in the movie he says, "Please remain seated with arms." And in the TV show, he says something different every time. So I'm curious if they would try to do a modified version just for the ride or not. Or they could do what they did in the Villains Tonight, where he says the usual spiel and then he says it again in Spanish.
They have to have a they have to have the scroll version too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the they need to have. They really should have some sort of Kronk show at the Cusco land at least, the Groove theme mini land. I like either about cooking themed or Junior Chipmunk themed. I can't decide which, or maybe both. Um, if you want to bring in a movie from a rival studio, maybe both is good. But
They'd have a whole rivalry with the Junior Woodchucks from DuckTales.
yeah, I didn't end up doing this because don't want to be bogged down by just a whole bunch of crossover projects with Emperor's New Groove. But I did at one point have an idea for a crossover of DuckTales and the Emperor's New Groove involving the multiverse because that's the only way you could do it. Um, so I think it's time to wrap up. Does y'all have anything else to say or anything to plug?
I'll let Daniel go first.
Uh, as far as final thoughts go, I just hope it's a hell of a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
like I said, I really hope they don't do my girl Cruella dirty. That'd be I would be upset with that.
I think
Um,
she'll get some form of representation. I'm sure she's a popular villain, and if she doesn't when it first opens, she probably will later on, because they do like expand and stuff.
but
Um,
as far as like plugs, this is like the first time I actually get to do this. I have my own show, my own podcast called "It's Not That Bad," where we look at movies that were unfairly maligned or fairly maligned, depending, and try and revisit them and determine are they really that bad? We just recorded an episode on. Oh my God, I'm editing this stupid thing and I forget. Oh, we just recorded an episode on Digimon the movie. So look forward to that in a couple of
well,
weeks.
that
That
wasn't bad. People just thought that
is,
was bad because of the Angelic Anaconda.
you apparently haven't watched it recently.
No, I haven't. I don't know how bad it actually is. I just know that it had an Angelic Anaconda short for it.
Well, this will be a treat. Be sure to tune in to It's Not That Bad in a couple of weeks, where you can find out all about it on your own. Jacob, pass it along to you.
All right, so I have on my main YouTube channel, RCT3 is Epic. I've been doing a lot of more theme park content. If you miss the old days of some jerk with a camera, then you should check out my show because it's heavily inspired by that and is very much in the same vein. Outside of that, I am trying to get a career in theme park music. So you can keep up with that progress on my B channel called The Coaster Composer.
If I ever
More
get
content for that will be coming out soon, so
if
stay
I
tuned for
ever
that.
if I ever get a window, I will advocate for you, Jacob. Um, for me, you can find this podcast on Blue Sky at podcast TENP, bluesky.com. You can go watch the first part of the fan film crossover fan film. Friends and I made that. Daniel was in and Jacob did the score for. Road to Cuscotopia. Chapter 1 is on YouTube now on the Charlotte Driftwood Pirate Drag Queen YouTube channel. You can also find other stuff, including this episode, on the Emperor's New Podcast YouTube channel, and you can find it wherever podcasts are found. All right, I am going to stop now.